Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Wednesday, June 21st, 2017. In both the Lynn-Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions and nature realm's guardians, and we have a group of souls from larger levels who are occupying these host lives right now, and they don't seem to be living to search for truth rules. They don't seem to be working toward the search for truth assignments. In addition, we have some pronounced symptoms in both the host lives of tightness at the oneness chakra, which is right at the nape of the neck, and of tightness at the let go, let God point, which is slightly lower right here. Tightness at the oneness chakra and tightness at the let go, let God point. And the tightness, and what do I know? I know that there are always game theories in healing sessions, and what are those game theories? For a traditional kind of life where there's the original soul and that was assigned to the life, still in that life, 90% of the time, and what is this based on? This is based on our 17 years of healing practice. 90% of the time, the issues are to do with past lives. 9% of the time, the issues are to do with the soul plan for the current life, life path work. And 1% of the time, it could be a million other different things, all included in that 1%.
That's true.
So 99% of the time, it's either past life work or soul plan work. However, in this era of abandoned lives and body snatching, where the souls in the body are not the original souls assigned to the body, the game theory shifts actually substantially, and shifts depending on what souls are in the body.
That's true.
And 90% of the time, the issue has to do with the occupying soul, not with the original life.
That's true.
Which is in and of itself a problem, because when the life ends, the soul who was assigned to that life is evaluated based on the accomplishments of the life on the original soul plan. So
yes, that's true.
It's a flaw in the system. There's a breakdown in the divine law. In the case of host lives who are devoted to a project of spirit to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing, we have found there are other game theories, other theories that hold for symptomology. If it isn't something to do with the occupying soul, it's often something to do with the big picture as a whole, the physical forms showing us symptoms that relate to various and sundry dimensions that are represented by, for example, the dimension that the neck represents, the dimension that the upper back represents, the dimension that the feet represent, and so on. And in addition to that, the interdimensional communications and transfers are also topics. And now both of these points are important interdimensional points. The let go, let God point has to do with transfer of responsibility from higher power to us and from us to higher power. Sometimes we're holding on to something that is not ours to do, and it's time to let go, let God. Sometimes there is something that is distinctly ours to do, and we are avoiding responsibility with all our might and have upper body tightness or pain or discomfort. And the oneness chakra has to do directly with selfishness, issues of selfishness. Tightness at the oneness chakra, it's tempting to say 100% of the time, have to do with issues of selfishness, inappropriate selfishness. Knowing that these symptoms have been present for many days in both bodies, there's something going on in an attempt to get it unstuck, get this show on the road, moving forward once more on our soul plans. We are going to facilitate a session of angelically guided, multidimensional energy healing for soul purpose, known as the Lightworkers Healing Method. And with that, the formally videoed portions of today's efforts begin.
Claiming that the intention of this interior be sacred, safe, learning, healing, growing space, and any presences who break through that space without permission are breaking divine law.
And also search for truth space.
And also search for truth space. Claiming the intention of this interior is search for truth space.
And a project of spirit to
And a
manifest
project
the
of
divine
spirit to
plan.
manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do.
No personal use of search for truth facilities is not allowed. It's against the rules.
That's true. Woohoo! Peeling off the personal use of search for truth resources. It feels like pulsing the pillar and it just flies off. Little screaming sounds like bugs flying out of the search for truth pillar or being thrown out of the search for truth pillar. Pulsing the pillar, peeling out. It's personal use of search for truth resources.
Maybe that's what those squiggly wigglies have been that we keep finding lately.
Maybe. There are a lot of them here in the pillar right now, squirming around. Peeling off personal use of search for truth resources and merging in really tightly. It feels like peeling away layers of rotting skin or rotting old wood.
Yes.
A lot of grubs squirming around in the old wood. Peeling away personal use of search for truth resources. Some of the grubs are saying, but I've been here for so long, and my granddaddy was here, and for generations our people have been like eating this dead wood. How dare you? How dare you take us out of our homes?
It's understandable.
Yeah, that is actually understandable. I hear what you're saying.
Send up the dead wood also.
That's true. Sending up the dead wood along with the grubs that were eating the dead wood. The environment and the souls.
Yes.
The environment and the souls merging in and pulsing up the back. There's a lot of this dead wood down around the back, and at the back, maybe let God point is what this
That's
is
where
at
I
the
feel
bottom
it.
of. Yeah. And pulsing it up. And I see way up high an intellectual discussion group, and they're talking about making music for the little people. And how it's nice, and it keeps little people from revolting or starting revolutions if we play them nice music, soothing music, with purring sounds.
Yes.
And they all seem to think this is a very good idea, and they're very,
benevolent.
Yes, I feel satisfied and benevolent, and this is a good idea. And I see the dead wood and the grubs starting to looks like erupt from the table where these presences are talking in that higher dimension.
I see it.
Pulsing up, merging in.
They seem to be ignoring that.
Yeah, they don't seem to be reacting at all.
They seem to be pretending it isn't happening.
Yeah, they're continuing their conversation about how best to make soothing music for smaller dimension presences so that they don't uprise.
But I do see one of the people very classily and quietly calling over the butler or whatever that person
Yes.
is and just tipping her head toward that rotting part. The
Yeah.
butler is getting ready to go take care of that.
Yes. This is true. The butler is going for what looks like a Roundup spray or a poison spraying thing.
Yep, live stream up
Live
past
stream
or
way
way
past.
past.
Given the reality of these limited resources, what now in order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing? What now? And just keep pumping up this dead wood. And I see a room above that first room where that discussion was happening about soothing music. And I'm not sure what the discussion is in the higher room. We're pumping up this dead wood and these squirming grubs up to that room.
Pump the poison up too that the butler is pouring in.
That's true, pumping up the poison too. looks kind of like that scene at the end of Jumanji where everything that came out of the game gets sucked back into the game.
Oh, interesting.
As if the poison sprayer and maybe even the butler herself are getting pumped up to this higher level along with the dead wood and the grubs.
Yes.
And the reality in that room where they were discussing soothing music for smaller dimensions seems to be sucking up.
I see it.
And squirting out onto the floor of this higher dimensional room. Starting to feel tears in the eyes and feeling like we're scraping the bottom of something. It could be the bottom of the let go, let God point, that tight point in the
Yes.
back. And the bottom feels metallic.
Yes.
Scraping it up. Scraping up the last bits of the dead wood. And now maybe we shift our focus to the oneness chakra, which is still really, really tight and heavy feeling. And kind of locked down feeling.